This is Lenny, our 1947 retired Greyhound bus. It had horrible paint on it. It was all chipping off, flaking off. So the couple previous videos we did where we were stripping the paint off of it and old body work, and it had been painted like 10 times, 10 different layers of paint on it. And so we're getting ready to do a decent paint job on it here and get it into the shop to do that. The bus is all aluminum, and there was a lot of old body work that had been done on it that wasn't done very well at all. So we're gonna go in and remove all that old Bondo and stuff too. We even have a bunch of holes to patch on the aluminum. This is our buddy Oz, who did all the body work and painted my Volkswagen thing, and he's coming out here for a little over a week to work on this. He's doing a ton of work for us. We really appreciate it. This is about the only steel thing on the bus. It's this little vent that goes, when you open it up, it blows cool air on the driver in the front. But it was steel on here, and it's really corroded really bad, rusted away. But we're gonna save it with some fiberglass and be able to reuse it with some welding and stuff. Well, we're working this with the fiberglass resin, rebuilding it. We cleaned it. A lot of sanding to go, but it's in good shape. Put new hinges on it. I have new seals on it. We use the fiberglass mesh resin, where it's got the strands in it. That's really strong on there. And then we soaked it in the rust stuff. Did real well. This Furtan rust converter stuff really gets rid of the rust in those deep pits and stuff. Lots of sanding and body filler, lots of little dings and nicks and scrapes and stuff. Oz is on sanding day 3. It's really starting to look nice. Coming along real good. Oz has been working so hard. There was like hundreds of rock dings in the mirrors, the side mirrors. They stick out and they're almost flat. They were crazy rock chipped up. We're just gonna mask around the trim on the front here. The little clips that hold them on are very rusted and corroded. And this thing's 76 years old, so we're just gonna go around it. It'll be good. We are going to be doing this outside, so we're getting everything cleaned up here. He's blowing everything off real good, and then we're going to do it with a wax and grease remover and then tack cloths, and we're going to wet all the ground around so there's no dust that gets kicked up from the driveway or anything.
Yeah, just
wax remover, wax and
just spray a little bit and just wipe it. Once it gets on the rag, you don't have to keep spraying it.
So an epoxy primer is going on first. This is good for the aluminum. It's got etching properties. looks good from here.
What?
So that looks good from here.
Yeah? Good.
After the epoxy primer, we're putting on a 2K primer, which is like a sanding primer, so it fills in some little scratches and stuff like that, and then we can work it a little better. As much body work as we did right there, I'm impressed with how good it looks. A few little touch-ups here and there where we're fixing a couple little things in the bodywork on it here with some glazing compound here. So if it'll, there was a whole row of, there's a piece of trim that's going to go on here. So that will have to be, that'll be hidden under the trim.
This window too, but there's some pitting going on.
Here you can see how we're keeping the ground wet all around the bus right now, keeping the dust down. Haven't had any issues with wind blowing any dust on the bus or anything. A couple bugs flying around, we gotta try and watch out for them.
We're not going to get full coverage on this first coat.
Okay.
We're going to let it run. Stay.
We even tested out this Harbor Freight gun here on the back part of the bus versus using his $1,000 gun that we were using on the rest of it. It did a really good job. Well, it turned out really good. There's a few imperfections here and there that we're going to have to wet sand out and then buff, but the paint has to cure for another few days before we do that. So next week we'll be wet sanding and buffing it, but it really did turn out great. I mean, painting it outside, no dust or anything. Couple little bugs made a couple little nicks, couple little issues with some paint here and there, but it'll all get fixed up with wet sanding and buffing. Got the bumper back on and the tape coming off of it. He really does look good. That's the best he's looked in probably 60 years. It's not perfect. He's never going to be perfect. He's got 76 years worth of dings and dents, and he's been in accidents, and it would be in the shop for months to make it look perfect, but he turned out really, really nice, which is what we were going for. Not 100% period paint job correct, but very close, and we really like the way he turned out.
smoke rising up the holler through the trees. And from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. At the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Bus Grease Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.